everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here at Painted Studio. Welcome back. This is a YouTube and Instagram exclusive video. Shorts will be on Instagram. The full video is on YouTube. And what we're doing today is taking these clear glass ornaments and turning them into these gorgeous, sparkly, multi-dimensional ornaments. All right, let me put this one out of the way so I don't smash it by accident. So what we're going to do is we're going to put adhesive on the inside and outside of these. Now, these are glass because I need glass for something else. However, the ornaments like these do come in plastic and you can use those as well. So the first thing we're going to do is clean these. So where did I put? There's my alcohol. I clean these with 91% alcohol or higher or denatured alcohol. You want to get all the grease off of the outside. You cannot go inside and do this. That doesn't work. I could swirl it in here, but it's really kind of pointless because that won't be the side that's in consideration. So I've wiped this all off. You can see on my paper towel that all the handling and stuff sort of makes things dirty. I'm going to flip my camera down so we can see a little better. All right. And here is the other one we're going to be working on. And again, before I even take the little cap off, I'm just cleaning off the outside. The cap gives me a little better hold on things. Okay. Now, just fair warning, these little flat ones, they can break pretty easily, so don't squeeze them too hard. So what we're going to do, first we want to put adhesive on the inside of these, and there's two ways to do that. And trust me, I have spent a lot of time practicing. So I'm pulling these little caps off. You can see they're held with a sort of spring latch on there. Anybody who's ever had a Christmas ornament has probably seen these. You can do this one of two ways. You can take our Roberson's water-based gold leaf size. It's acrylic. And you can take that and pour that in here. And yes, my hands are very clean, but I'll probably clean them again. So I'm putting a lot in here. I don't need this much in here, but what I'm doing is I'm coating the inside. Now I've done this with both of the adhesive manners that I'm showing you, and I will explain the difference in just a minute. But as you can see, I'm coating the entire inside of this ball. And I want it completely covered. So I'm sort of watching for where the empty spots are. Okay, and then I take one of these little plastic shot, there's one I've been using, little plastic shot glasses that you get from party stores, and you put it upside down and let it drip out and let it drip dry. Now, the other thing you can do, if you have no need for having water-based gold leaf size in your studio, I have both because I do a lot of gilding as well. I took some of our Artsyville foil adhesive, hang on just a second. I took some of our Artsyville foil adhesive and did the one thing we tell you not to do, which is water it down. The reason I'm watering it down is because this will not be used to apply foil. It will be used to apply glitter to the inside of stuff. So I'm going to just make sure I'm stirred up here. Once you thin it, it stays thinned. Now I made this mixture 2 weeks ago and it stays good and thin, doesn't separate. But you can see it has that same milky skim milk consistency that the water-based gold leaf size has. And again, we're going to do just what I did before. Just pour in far more than I need. Make sure it's covering the entire inside of this. Oops, I poured it on the table, which was what I was trying not to do. All right, that's good. I got that all in there. I'll pour the extra off in there. Let me blot up the mess that I just made. Oh, Lord, I really just spilled everywhere. Sorry. This is a day for me to spill. Okay, And then I set this again in one of these little shot glasses. Now this doesn't sit up by itself, so I'm going to prop it up here out of range and let it drain out. And once everything's drained out, which we're about at right now, there's two ways you can do this. You can let these completely dry and they will turn clear. And then you can apply the foil adhesive, or you can do it the way I'm going to do it right now, which is apply it wet while it's wet in the center. Now, why am I not using full strength foil adhesive? I have found out the hard way. And this is what I'm going to show you right now. The hard way is, if you look here, those white spots, that's not foil. That's full strength foil adhesive that I poured onto the inside of this ornament, thinking that it would turn clear, and it didn't. If you do it that way, if you pour straight foil adhesive in there, it will not dry clear. It will dry white. I thought I was so smart. I thought I knew what I was doing. I was wrong. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to apply regular full strength Artsyville foil adhesive on here. This is how it comes, or you can get it in quarts, 4-ounce jars, or gallons. Me, I have a gallon, so I just keep it poured off into small containers so I don't make a mess. Because if I can't handle the little bit of liquid I just made a mess with, you can imagine how messy I am with a gallon of this stuff. Now, if you hate getting your fingers sticky, I suggest putting on a pair of gloves. I'm so used to being sticky and gummed up, it doesn't even faze me anymore. All right, I just need my brush. So here's my brush. And I also just understand too, when you use Artsyville foil adhesive, don't just stick your brush in water and walk away from it. It will start to solidify a little bit in the water. It'll get hard in there. It'll turn kind of gummy. So I always recommend to everybody that they rinse and wash their brushes as soon as humanly possible. So I'm going to, now that I've cleaned this ball and I've put the adhesive on the inside, and this again is the one that I'm using the water-based gold leaf size on, you'll see that the two products make next to no difference when I'm finished, whether I use the watered down Artsyville foil adhesive or I use the Roberson's gold leaf size. In this project, it makes no difference. Now, the one thing I can tell you is that you do not want to use the Roberson's gold leaf size on foils. That doesn't work. The adhesive is not strong enough to get a good foil release, so don't do that. Don't try. If you're going to only buy one product, buy the Artsyville foil adhesive. Thin it down for the inside, put it in a little separate jar, put a lid on it. You'll be able to use it again and again. And I put my ornaments on skewers. Let me flip this up a little bit. I put them on skewers on a piece of floral foam, and that allows any extra stuff on the inside to drain out, and it allows it to dry touch-free with the adhesive on the outside. So now we're going to take this one that had the watered down foil adhesive in it, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put Artsyville foil adhesive on the outside of this. Now, you don't have to do the adhesive on the inside if you're not going to do a transparent foil on the outside. I'm going to use a bunch of transparent foils for the outside and then put glitter on the inside to make these doubly sparkly. But you can use any of the Artsyville foil, any of our foils with the Artsyville foil adhesive on the glass and get spectacular results. You can use the V-mask style foils, which are not fabric friendly. You can use any of the fabric friendly foils. Any foil you want will work with this. All right, so I'm going to set this one again. It's going to go up here, and where my finger is, I'm coming back with the brush and just brushing the adhesive on there. Now, when you're working on glass and plastic, I cannot recommend enough. I cannot recommend highly enough. You let this cure up overnight. Glass is not porous. It doesn't want anything to grab onto it. That's the nature of it. Plastic can be very much the same way. So the cure time, instead of an hour to 2 hours, like we tell you with most things, with glass and plastic like this, I cannot recommend enough that you let it cure up overnight. Now, if you look over here, you'll see that I have two, and I did these a couple days ago, so they're really ready to go, but I need to put a little alcohol on my fingers because I'm sticky. Grab another paper towel. Let me grab my little alcohol here. Now, if you can't get this off with alcohol easily, use Crud Cutter or Goo Gone. I usually choose Crud Cutter because it's alcohol based and it evaporates, as opposed to Goo Gone, which requires me, once I've used that, to then use something else to clean the surface. Goo Gone is fantastic though for getting labels off of glass, you know, like labels that don't want to peel off of stuff. It's fantastic for that on glass and plastic, and then you just wipe it down with alcohol. All right, so we're going to get our foils that I had planned for this. All right, so we're going to use two transparent foils. We've got our willow here, and we have, which one is this called? Cherries on top here. So I've got a little gold, I've got a little silver, very Christmassy, and we're going to cut a piece. Hang on a sec. All right, we're going to flip the camera back down. So this is willow. When I unroll these, I always take a little piece of blue tape and put it on the side that does not go to the adhesive. Why? Because they look the same on both sides. And especially on something that can be a little temperamental, like glass, I don't want to apply it to the wrong side, or apply the wrong side of the foil to the adhesive and then possibly have it tear up my adhesive instead of releasing foil. When we ship this to you, we always, always, always stick pieces of blue tape on each foot that you order, so you know which side goes to the adhesive and which side does not. We even put a note in there telling you which side goes to the adhesive and which side does not. All right, so I'm going to take my the willow one, and I'm going to take this ball. This one I did, I want to say, I've got to think for a second. This one has foil adhesive inside and outside. Thin foil adhesive inside, the normal foil adhesive outside. Now we're going to take this. Whoop, things want to stick to themselves. We're going to lay it down. I'm going to fold this up carefully, pull my skewer out, and then I'm going to sort of pinch it closed because I want to keep as much of the pattern working as possible. So the first thing I'm doing is pinching it closed, then warming it with my hands. Why am I warming it with my hands? Foils like warmth. Foil adhesive likes warmth. You don't store foils and foil adhesive below 65 degrees because you will not get good results. So we're going to take this and we're going to give it a little scrubby. And this is just a nail brush made by Scotch-Brite. And the reason I use this one is it has short bristles, so it's a little stiffer. Regular nail brushes are a little too soft. Go for the Home Depot ones. They're for guys who, you know, get their hands in a lot of crud and need something softer or stronger than a little soft nail brush. So we're going to go in here, and we're going to give everything a good scrub down. Now, translucent foils like this can have a little bit of an attitude, meaning that this is not, the pattern that you see here is not the only thing that releases. There's a whole clear foil that's mounted to the back of the carrier film. So it almost needs to be broken and to get it to release, meaning instead of like the solid foils, which are tiny, 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 tiny microscopic dots that you just rub on and it comes off, this is like a solid sheet of stuff, and it can over-release. But to get it to release, sometimes you just need to get it to break a little, which is why on most things I scrape my fingernails along edges, because that creates a place where the foil wants to break. And you can see it's not always going to come off super easy right away. I'm just going to have to keep working this a little bit to get it to come along. There we go. It's starting to release. Oh, I see why. There's a spot there that I didn't get foil adhesive on it. Oh, by the end of this, that won't matter. So we can see our pattern is starting to release. Take your time. Don't pull straight up. That puts too much tension on the foil. Pull at an angle. Release on an angle. I'll come back and I'll give a scrape to make sure every bit has been released. And so we've got pattern everywhere. Okay. That one clear spot is where I didn't get any foil adhesive. Like I said, in the end, you won't notice. But as you can see, I'm releasing it gently. And there's a spot there that didn't get any foil on it, and I can see the foil adhesive on there. So I'm going to come back. And my fingernails are also a great tool. Sometimes it just needs more than a scrub brush. It can use a fingernail. Okay, there we go. We got more release there. Yay. And just take our time, gently and carefully removing it. And as you can see now, it's released beautifully. Really, really pretty. But that's a little dull on its own. Now I'm going to kind of touch some spots with my fingers before we go on, because I can see spots that don't have any release on there. And I have a feeling it's just because everything gets folded up and pleated up, and that happens. So come back, release more foil. Scrub it with the brush, scrub it with your fingernail, whatever you need to scrub it with. There we go, there's some release there. I'm always looking for spots that don't have pattern released on it. Okay, and let's see. Up there. And you have to do this on round things like this. You have to do this with almost every kind of foil. Because the round shape is not easy. Foil is flat. It doesn't have a curve to it. It doesn't just suck right up. All right, so now you can see that beautiful pattern on there. But we also have it nice and sticky on the inside. And I have a couple of different glitters to use. That's not the one I wanted. We're going to use this one. This is our gold dust. Now I'm picking a color that's different from what's already in here because I want it to make that back pattern pop. So I'm going to take this. I wonder if I still have my little spoon thingy right over here. There we go. This is what I need. If you don't have one of these things, this is an icing spoon for decorating with food and stuff. If you don't have one of these, just use a funnel. I just happen to have these because they're easier for me to manage than funnels because I lose everything. So now I'm going to take this and shake it all over the inside. And it's going to grab onto that adhesive. Now, this is not grabbing as hard as some of them would, just because the gold leaf size is less sticky And it's been sitting out and waiting for me. Now I'm taking a brush and going in here because I can kind of smudge some stuff around in here if I want to. And that helps it stick a little better. But personally, I think the gold leaf size, while good, is not as good as the foil adhesive, but this will be just fine. Now this dust is different than glitter. This is made with glass, so it's actually just a little heavier than like regular glitter. But now we have this sort of glows with the gold and with the foil. Okay, I'm gonna, whoops, that's sticking to my arm. So I'm gonna stick this back over here on one of the skewers for a minute. And we're going to do our other one. Put that over there. Now our other one is our cherries on top. I'll move that, dust that out of the way. And again, I'm going to take a piece of blue tape, not this one, this is the tape I used to hold it closed. Get a fresh piece of blue tape. We're going to put that tape on there. Now I'm cutting bigger pieces for than I need for the sake of demonstration. You can cut pieces that fit your ornaments a little better. You don't need to use like a foot of foil per ornament. I'm just doing this so that you all can see this. All right, I'm going to take my foil. I'm going to lay my ornament down, pull the skewer out. All right, let's get that all laid down. Again, smoothing it with my hands. Getting it all done here. Let's check and see how our release is going. I'm going to get my fingernails up around here. Yeah, I need to get that up into where the neck of this is just so that it pinches off. And again, this is like our willow foil. It's not just the pattern on here, it is also a transparent film that is part of the whole foil. And it's not wanting to release yet. Sometimes, like I said, these can be a little bit tricky getting them to release, but once you get them started, they're great. They actually want to over-release. You just have to sort of make a crack in where the foil is so it grabs onto things. Come on, stop being temperamental. See if I get it any better. Come on. Oh, why are you so cranky? Some of these are a little crankier than others. But the results are worth the effort. All right, there we go. We're starting to get some release here. Again, I go back with my fingers if I find that it's not releasing completely. Let go. I don't know why this does not want to release today. There being super stinky stubborn. This one is just being as stubborn as can be. So normally that's not an issue. I don't normally have this not wanting to release. So I'm going to kind of play with this here for a minute and see what I can make happen. It may not be a lot. We may put this one in the bag to do something else with. Let's see. Now, I've never tried to release this one on glass before, and so I'm not sure why I'm having so much trouble with it, but it does not want to release. All right, I'm going to call it right now. Cherries on Top does not like glass. Does not like what I'm doing here. So I may try this again on another thing. So we're going to turn off our recording. Why is this being so shitty? I'm not happy with this. I am not happy at all.